Body language idea of the day is victim consciousness. We all know someone that lives in victim consciousness. Oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. Oh my goodness, this happened again. And it wears on you. When you take the body language course that I teach, I show you some other things other than what you're going to learn today. I show you other ways to notice a victim, someone that lives in victim consciousness right away. These are things that everybody sees. But today what we're going to be talking about is Ted Bundy. So Ted Bundy was being interviewed, and he said he can always pick a really good victim because of the way they walk. So how they're strolling around. He's like, oh, okay, they walk like this, they're going to be a good victim. This inspired a woman named Angela Book. Angela ends up getting inspired to do this research, psychopathy and the victim selection, the use of gait as a cue to vulnerability. After she heard the Ted Bundy interview, she's like, that's interesting. So she ends up taking 12 people, have them walk down a corridor, and she records them. As they walk down the corridor, her 2 questions for those 12 people were, have you ever been a victim? And if so, how many times have you been victimized? That goes in one section. She takes 47 people. She gives them the self-psychopathy test. She divided in 2 groups. So she divided into the groups that are closer to psychopathy and those that are not. Those that were closer to being psychopaths were psychopaths were able to articulate who was victimized at a much higher rate than the people that were lower on the score. This inspired her to check it out even further. So she took it to a prison system, and she showed clinically diagnosed psychopaths that were in a maximum security prison, violent criminals. Here, 12 people picked the victim, and all of them were not only able to articulate who the victim was, but they were able to do it and tell her the reason is because the way they walk. If you take the course, you can see some other things that I show you about victim consciousness that are in the face. So what I find really interesting about this is the fact that this is stuff that you're presenting all the time. This is stuff that you're reading all the time. The big difference is, can you articulate it or not? We do it so often that we maybe not be able to articulate it. A good body language program helps you articulate what you're seeing. What I find really interesting about this is you're making decisions based on stuff that you can't articulate, but you're making those decisions anyway. Taking a good body language course allows you to articulate what it is that you're seeing and make choices, so you're responding versus reacting. So if you have kids, if you want to be a better partner, if you want to be a better lawyer in the courtroom, or mediation, if you want to be a better salesperson, whatever your interaction with humans are, if you want to walk down the street and not be a victim, whatever your interaction with another human being is, you can begin to understand it, and you can be able to articulate what it is that you need to work on and what it is that you're seeing. That's the point of having a good course. This is a really interesting study because it shows that in real time, and it shows why people were picked to become victims and to consistently be victims. Once you're victimized, if you hold on to it, you're more likely going to be victimized again. Why? You're presenting that way with your walking gait, your facial features. Those all change as you give up some victim mentality and you begin to step into your power. So, I hope this is an interesting study for you. I found it to be super interesting. Have fun, enjoy it. Enjoy the research. Talk to you later.